like I said, I don't have the money to pay it off, especially when you combine this with my rent. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another monthly money update. Welcome to another personal finance video from me. It has been a while since we've talked about money, so welcome to this one. Welcome to an unscripted, very real chat about what's been going on with my personal finances this past month specifically, and we'll talk a little bit about the months that I missed. I wanna let you guys know there is no coffee B-roll. There is no tea this video. All we have is water. And this is boxed water, by the way, so good. And I just love drinking out of this container, so I refill it from the tap, saving money. But yeah, this is just like sticky note realness of what's been up with my budget and my finances this past month. I've just been kind of waiting for this day. This is the day towards the end of the month where I receive my YouTube paycheck, my credit cards are all due, and everything's kind of hydro bill maybe, like whatever it is, it's all happening today. And yeah, I wait for this day because after I film this video and after I pay off all of my bills, it's always a very big relief. So as hard as these videos can be for me to film, because it's like coming face to face with my, you know, spending habits and also airing them publicly, it's also quite therapeutic to look through everything. So there's a tip for you. Even if you don't make YouTube videos, you can review your finances once a month. It feels really good. So today we're gonna talk about what I spent. We're gonna talk about how much money I'm owing on my credit cards as usual. We're gonna talk about how have I been investing my money. Do I have any debt? Do I have any savings this month? What is going on? Let's jump in with what I've been spending. So as you guys know, I pretty much spend everything on credit. I've received a few questions in the past as to why I do that, why I don't spend with debit, why I don't spend with cash. Cash is just so, it's crazy, but cash is becoming truly obsolete in most big cities. Like a lot of restaurants don't even take cash anymore. So it kind of throws off your budget if you're planning on paying cash for everything and then you stop. Like it's kind of annoying. As for debit in Canada, the banks make spending on debit really difficult because you only have something crazy like 10 transactions a month, which isn't a lot. So I do find it difficult to spend on debit. And then of course there is the added bonus of getting points on your credit card. Now, sometimes credit card points feel like they're just like a million years away and that they're not even worth it. And I totally get that. But I just had a recent win with my credit card points where I was actually able to book a flight to Indiana, which is like a $500 Canadian flight, for free. And I still have points left over. So that's pretty great. That feels good. Does it make up for all my, you know, crazy spending? No, but hey, it's better than nothing. So let's start with my MasterCard because that's actually the higher one this month. For those of you who know, I have two credit cards, a MasterCard and an Amex. And like I said, that's where I do the majority of my spending. So let's dive in to what I spent, shall we? Okay, scrolling back to the end of the month, end of last month. All right, $31 on dinner. That was dinner for me and my sister. $60 on brunch. This was a big one. $60 on brunch for my sister and I. You guys can watch the vlog where we hang out for the weekend, go for brunch, etc. But I wanted to treat her to a nice brunch and it was definitely fun, but definitely expensive. Like $60 for two people is pretty crazy. We have some other reasonable purchases here. McDonald's for $15. That was again for my sister and I. $50 at the thrift store, again for my sister and I. If you want to see what we bought, check out that vlog. Now, the biggest purchase of the month on this card was my dog Maggie's spay. So like it's like neutering, but for female dogs. $554. So that was very expensive. And now here's the tea, you guys. When I got a dog, I told myself that I was going to come up with a savings account for her and like be really responsible. And like, I've never not paid for anything for her. I've never not gone above and beyond when it comes to like vet care. Like there was a time when she was sick, I went above and beyond paying for everything, and I don't mind paying for it. But I have not put the money aside to do it. I simply have not. I do have an emergency fund that's pretty much funded. We'll talk about that later, but I I don't know, I just don't want to dip into it for this kind of things because either way I have to replenish it. So yeah, I don't know. And this was an expense I saw coming up. Totally should have saved for, but I just didn't. $30 on sushi. Was that for one person? That's pretty crazy. Something at the dog store for 20 bucks. I bought, oh, this was crazy, a drink, a cocktail, a night out with friends. Fun night out, but did I need a $16 cocktail? Probably not. $34 on dinner and drinks with friends, a $5 Metro Pass to get to that dinner and drinks, $22 on coffee, $40 at Walmart. Oh, that was for medication. $30 at Mucho Burrito. I can hear my neighbors. That my mom is going to pay me back. $20 at this dessert place, $75 on gas, and $15 at the movies. And that's everything pretty much, except for a few small things that I spent this month. So a lot of those just seem like pretty reasonable purchases. Like there's totally nothing wrong with going to the movies. There's totally nothing wrong for going out for coffee. I think it's just like the frequency at which I do it. Or you could say, you know, that's all fine, but you also had your dog's vet appointment all in the same month is kind of a lot, especially when I haven't pre-saved for her vet appointment. So am I going to beat myself up about all of these charges? No, because especially most of them were with my sister. It was a good time, it's fine. But yeah, that's what I spent the majority of my money on. And somehow all of that adds up to me owing $1,524 on my MasterCard. Okay, guys, continuing on with what I spent, another really big purchase of the month was my ski pass. So I've never had a ski pass before. I've never been a regular skier before, but my boyfriend, my best friend, and I, we bought ski passes for a mountain here in Quebec. I'm so excited for it. Like, it's an expense that I can totally say is worth it. It was $200. We bought like just a night pass, so it was a little bit cheaper. But yeah, that's really fun and exciting, and it was definitely a big purchase. And that I just paid out of my checking account, so that's why I have like less money than usual too in my checking account. Let me see what else I put in my checking account, because there was some like things that I owed people money for. And we know the skiing was a good purchase because it came to $222. You guys know I love the 3 times repeating numbers. Okay, honestly, you guys, I don't really see very many outgoing things from here. So the only thing I bought really, besides like Starbucks one time and my rent, was that ski pass. Now, I mentioned this before, but my rent has gone up because I now have a parking space for my car. So my rent has gone from $1,350 to $1,510, so an extra $160 per month. Not the biggest deal. Definitely worth it to have a parking spot. It's awesome. But another area where it's like, hey, you now have this added expense. We should probably tone it down a little bit. Okay, let's wrap up the what I spent portion by checking out my American Express. Here's the thing. With this one, in the middle of the month, I was really happy and really proud of myself because I checked my Amex and it was only owing like $600, which for me is really good. And then I kind of got this like confidence and was like, well, I'm doing well. I can buy this. I can go for dinner. Da, 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 da. And all these sneaky little things sneak up on you. And suddenly you're owing $1,500. So that's crazy. Let's talk about what I spent. We have my probiotics, which was $80. Those probiotics are really, really, really expensive, but they seriously work. They are from Seed. But it's like $80 a month. I got to cut down on like 1 or 2 restaurant visits to make all of this work. So there's definitely some new expenses. I think, like, quick side note, there's definitely some new expenses in my life that are fine and I'm conscious of them and I'm okay with them, but I haven't substituted them, or I haven't taken out other things to make room for these conscious decisions. So that's a very good insight that I'm gonna have to keep an eye on. I spent $40 on a yoga membership. It was like a trial month. And then I spent another $40 because I bought one for my boyfriend so he could come with me. I spent $30 at the restaurant. And this, you guys, this is an example of like a perfect night out with friends. Let me tell you. So we were 5 girls. We all went out for dinner at this really awesome restaurant called McKiernan's. I didn't get anything to drink. win number one. I shared an entree and shared a main with Camilla. So we're sharing food. We had just the perfect amount of food, just the perfect amount of fullness. It was great. Like I said, no drink. I ended up getting dessert, which was a mistake because it wasn't even that good, but all in with tip and everything, spent $30. So that is how to go out and win. You have an entree, you have a main, you have a good time with your friends, and you haven't spent too much money. Buying alcohol really is a killer, like we saw with that $16 cocktail. So that was an example of a really well done night out, and I'm really proud about that. Oh my gosh, okay, so I have a story for you guys. Here I have a $97 duties charge for a pair of $200 hiking boots. Yes, I fell into a hole. Do you guys ever feel like your most impulsive purchases are the worst decisions you make? I impulsively decided to buy this really nice pair of hiking boots. I bought them impulsively. The site said like to size down. I got a size 7. The size 7 arrives and they are way too small. So I spent $200 on the first pair. And I spent $75 on duties on the first pair. Now, I wanted to wait and see if the next size would fit me before I returned the other one. So I haven't returned them yet. And returning duties is like a process. It's gonna take a while. So I'm out $75 for sure for the next little while. So another $200 on the new boots in a better size. They fit perfectly, they look great, wonderful. But for some reason this time, the duties were $100. So I have spent close to $600 so far on hiking boots, and I have not used them once. I will be using them tomorrow. Maybe I'll insert some footage right here for when I go. But yeah, that's the story with my hiking boots. I definitely beat myself up about this, and we can laugh about it now, but I really need to initiate that return process because that's at least $200 that I want back. I accidentally forgot to cancel my Good Food subscription, so $65 on groceries, but that's okay. I didn't buy any other groceries for the week. I was like, you can eat the scraps from your fridge and you're gonna eat your good food and that's it. You're not gonna buy. No. Okay, here we have the $230 hiking boots from REI, because yes, I ordered them from the States. We have a car rental charge for $123. My mom is going to reimburse me for that. We have some Uber Eats charges that is for my mom and I. She's going to reimburse me for that. I impulsively purchased some stuff from Simon's, but I'm really proud of myself. I'm going to be returning it. That was $95. Another Uber trip for $30. We have the Air Canada $400 plane ticket, but that got reimbursed by my points, which is awesome. $50 on David's Tea, quite unnecessary, but it was fun. $100 at Lululemon for a new yoga mat. That was well spent. $87 on gas, ouch. $100 at H&M, but I returned it. Very proud of myself. $12 for the Morning Toast Patreon. $22 again at H&M for a hat, no regrets. $88 on dog food, $60 on pizza, but my friends and I all chipped in, so it was really only $15. And my phone bill for $78, but work reimburses that. So all in all, we've got a thick credit card bill here, and I need to take a sip of water. So you guys, that's that for the what I spent. Very rambly, but I hope you enjoyed that segment. Let me know in the comments what the most expensive thing you purchased this month was. I love hearing about you guys' personal finance too, because obviously you're a little bit nosy if you like watching this, and I'm pretty nosy too, so I would love for you guys to comment. Now, I want to talk about some of the things that I wrote down. I also want to talk about how I'm feeling with what I spent before we get into the like paying it off and everything. So I was feeling really good until I checked my credit card bills. Like I said, when I checked in the middle of the month, it was good. And then as everything wrapped up, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so high. And straight up, I don't have the money to pay it off. Like I don't have enough in my checking account right now. And I just got paid. I don't have enough to pay it off. That's a shitty feeling, you guys. It's a really, really shitty feeling. It's one that I want to stop feeling very badly. And here's the thing. I didn't so much feel that way before I paid off my debt. This is a new thing that's been happening to me. Before I paid off my debt, what it would be like, I don't have enough to put in savings. I don't have enough to pay off towards my student loan debt. All I have is enough to pay off my credit cards. And you know, that felt bad at the time, but now it's like, I think I've received like this dose of confidence by paying off my credit card. I feel like I've received a dose of confidence from paying off my student loan that I now think that I can spend way more freely without really thinking about my purchases before I do them. And I've also been spending very, very emotionally. So I notice I spend emotionally in two ways. I spend when I'm feeling down as a kind of soothing mechanism, and I spend when I'm feeling happy as a reward. So that is messed up. And I just really want to get back to like the no spending. I was really good at that when I had debt. And it feels like now that I don't have debt, I haven't had a reason to be more minimalist. I also think that this summer was a lot about going out and, you know, back into the world and whatnot. And lastly, having gotten a boyfriend and being in a relationship, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. Dating is expensive, and you know, being in a new relationship, you're always excited. You want to go for coffee, dinner, drinks, like all the things, all the activities. And like I always say, leaving the house costs money. So yeah, I was feeling really down about all of this. I still don't feel great. I'm just excited to pay it off. But like I said, I don't have enough in my checking account to pay it all off. So I will be tapping into my line of credit, which means that I will be back in debt. And I really feel a shock to my system. Like I feel like a shock to my brain, like, okay, get it together, which is good. You know, I've had my fun. It's winter time. Well, it's about to be winter time. It's time to just like settle down. So let me tell you guys about this list I made. Writing down details of my finances helps me a lot when I'm feeling anxious, guilty, etc. It's kind of like doing a budget on paper, and it's kind of like journaling, but for your finances. So I really like journaling just for my mood in general, and I really like doing these little scribbles, whether it's in my journal or on whatever piece of paper I can get my hands on. Sometimes when you're feeling that anxious feeling or that overwhelm, you just gotta get your hands on like whatever you can. And like, at all times, you probably have your phone, but I love paper. So I had these sticky notes lying around and I used them. So I made 3 lists, actually 4. A list of stuff that my mom is going to reimburse me for, a list of stuff that I'm going to be returning, and a list of my biggest ticket items, as well as a list of my gas. So I want to share with you guys these lists because it just kind of helped me categorize my spending a little bit more. So there was a list of stuff for my mom. Now, the biggest ticket items that I purchased that I feel like were unnecessary or extravagant, you could say, was thrifting for $50. Like that was a pretty big like splurge at once. Brunch for $60, that's extravagant. Now, Maggie's purchase for $500 and then the $90 on her dog food. Obviously those are essentials, but they are some of the biggest. Well, the 555 is the biggest, and then the 90 is pretty up there. And then I had groceries for $150. And this trip to the grocery store, I think that this was from previous month actually, but I wanted to mention it because I went to the grocery store. I was like, I'm gonna stock up on everything. And I threw so much of it out and it felt so bad. I will not do that anymore. I vow I will not do that anymore. You just feel so guilty. You feel wasteful. You feel wasteful with the food, with your money. It's just a horrible feeling. And yeah, no. So I shouldn't have called this list extravagances because obviously getting my dog spayed is not an extravagance, but some of my biggest purchases of the month. Now, proud of myself. I did 2 splurge shopping sprees, like I said, one at Simon's, one at H&M, and I had a reality check. I had a reality check with myself, and I said, Zoe, take it back. You don't need it. In the moment, you will convince yourself that you need something. You convince yourself that this purchase is the one that's gonna make you happy, and this purchase is the one that finally you're gonna feel happy with. But if you guys remember that activity that I did, that mindfulness finance activity, what I said to myself in that, and what I need to remind myself of, and why I'm returning these things, is there's always something else to buy. Just because you buy that new perfect sweater, you're not suddenly gonna be happier. You're not suddenly gonna be that girl and everything's fine and it's worth the however much money that sweater was, right? So I packaged up my H&M stuff and I packaged up the parcel from Simon's and I'm taking it back. So that will be a return of $210, which is awesome. Now the last list, like I said, was gas. So $87, $90, and $75 on gas. So expensive. And another one that I haven't factored into my budget. So we could say another reason why I'm really going overboard is because I've added things to my budget: car, gas, expensive probiotics, and I have not removed anything. Now, what am I going to remove? I haven't done the reflection on that too much yet. I do plan on shopping a lot less, starting with these returns. Like for me, this whole return thing is very symbolic of like, we're not shopping for clothes anymore. Somebody even commented on a video like, I challenge you not to buy any new clothes until the new year. Not challenge accepted, because I don't want to. I will probably want to buy clothes before the new year, but definitely challenge accepted to reduce. So that's that. Now I calculated the amount from my mom and from the returns, which means a total get back of $500. However, I don't have it yet, so we still got to pay off the credit cards. Credit cards don't care that your mom's going to pay you back. But what's going to happen is when I owe money from my line of credit to pay off my credit cards, this $500, when I get it, will pay off some of that debt. So that's good, but it's still barely a quarter of everything due. So now, look at these sticky notes. They're so good, eh? The total on my MasterCard is $1,373. The total on my Amex is $1,600 about, which makes for a total of $2,973.57. That is almost $3,000. That's a lot of money. That's almost as much as I make in a month. Like, that's crazy. And like I said, I don't have the money to pay it off, especially when you combine this with my rent. So I just paid off both my credit cards. I owe $60 actually for my hydro bill, so I'm gonna pay that off after. I just wanna check the exact amount and I don't remember. But I know this is a bit weird considering, so I actually had to use my line of credit to pay off my MasterCard. What I did was I just used the line of credit I paid everything. I didn't really do any calculations. I was just like, put it all on the line of credit. I'm not gonna tell you the total owing on my line of credit because I wanna save that for another video. So teaser. But I know it's weird, but I still wanna put some money into savings. And the reason for that is just about building momentum. One thing I am proud of is I've built some really good momentum at putting money in savings. I actually have a really good amount, and an amount that I'm very proud of in my savings, in my emergency fund, in my tax-free savings account, and in my car savings account, so for paying off my car. So I'm very, very proud of that, but I do have like some what I would call short-term debt. But my savings are much more long-term. And so I'm gonna choose to put my money, a little bit of money right now, towards that long term, just to keep that momentum going, because I am very proud of that momentum, like I said. So for my tax-free, like sort of shorter term personal investing, I use Wealthsimple. I talk about them all the time. I love them. They want my Face ID right now. Here we go. So yeah, if you wanna check out Wealthsimple, if you live in Canada, for your investing, I'll link them down below. Using my link supports my channel, which is great, but I genuinely love them and use them. I have multiple accounts with them and multiple of their products. So I'm gonna put a little bit of money into my TFSA. I am not gonna tell you guys how much I have in my TFSA because I'm gonna save that for that same video, but I'm just gonna go ahead and move some money over. I'm gonna put $200, nice clean amount, into that TFSA. Continue. From my RBC, continue, submit. Usually it rains money on the screen, but now it didn't. Probably because they're like, sis, you're not doing good. So I paid off my bills. I put a little bit of money into savings. We got some debt to talk about. I also do want to talk about my overall savings. So I'm saving that for its own special dedicated video. So make sure you look out for that. Honestly, you guys, I think I've talked enough for this monthly money video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're kind of getting back on track with the money videos. I know you guys like them. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Also, quick shout out to Michaela because we talked on the phone right before I filmed this video. And we talked a little bit about anxiety and it felt good and helped me get in the right headspace to film this video. So this video is brought to you by Michaela. Thank you guys so much for watching this monthly money update. See you all in my next video. Bye.